Derek, what's up? What brings you in, man?
Uh, I'm going through a meltdown stage. I just had some traumatic stuff happen to me here recently, and I don't really know how to get through it. And I feel like I need to talk to somebody before I get to a point where I just can't live anymore.
So traumatic meltdown
Yeah.
stage. So it's pretty serious. Like some pretty major stuff happened.
Yeah. So, well, I've had a lot of people tell me that I have an addiction problem.
Okay.
And I haven't really seen it as a problem until recently. I saw a friend overdose, and I saw how it affected me, and I'm starting to realize that I can't keep living this life, but I don't know how to stop.
Okay. So seeing the friend overdose,
Yeah.
that was kind of your awakening kind of thing of like this is
Because it's
pretty
always
serious.
been fun. Like, drugs have always been fun, and it
Yeah.
hasn't been a problem to me. I haven't seen a problem with using drugs and partying, and now after witnessing that here recently, all these things are just starting to play into my head of what's going on and what I'm losing, and it's tough.
So how is it a problem for you? I mean, obviously with friends dying, that's a major problem, But how is it for you? I mean, you say you can't like turn away or just stop. Help me understand that whole thing.
It seems like now, after this happening, and there's other things that have been happening. I have children that I don't see as frequently, probably because of my drug use and partying, because my children's mother doesn't like it. But now it's starting to be an issue because I want to be in their life. I want to stop. I want to be able to be this normal person and not end up like my friend. But it's just like I can't. It's like a roller coaster. I can't get off.
Keep talking about that. Help me understand that better.
It's like when you, I don't know if you can understand, but it's kind of like when you have an interest or a like or a want, and then you start to lose the want and the like of that interest, but the interest will still stay there. You can't get rid of it. You can't move from it. You have to do it. It's like a drive that you have to do it. I don't want to say I'm addicted.
Yeah, I am trying to understand that. Yeah, not necessarily like an addiction or something, but like it's something you've been doing for so long that it's just, I mean, it's kind of habitual, but not an addiction kind of thing, but it's just sort of, it's what you know.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what
I
you're
think that's it. I've been since college. Like I started out drinking with my friends in college, and it was just partying, and we were just having a good time being college students. And I graduated college and moved on to some harder stuff. But it was just because of the place that I work, my office. Some people were doing some cocaine, and I was like, "What is that?" And it was like, "Oh, it's a party drug." It's like, "Oh, I like to party," so we started partying with that, and now it's become to the point where I have to have it. I have to do this. I have to go out these days and parties. Or if I hear somebody around the office talking about they're going to do this or do that, I'm like, I have to be involved. And it's taken away from my family. It's taken away from my friends. And some of my friends outside of work that I party with, like I said, one of them has passed away recently. And it's just like, is it still a party or what is this?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's the big question then. Yeah. So I'm going to do the voice of the therapist, like the voice in my head. I forgot to tell you because this is sometimes helpful for y'all to know, because what you see and what's going on here can be two completely different things. So all right. So right now I'm a little overwhelmed with this story, kind of confused, and just trying to get clear on exactly what he's talking about. And so it's becoming a little bit more clear because I'm connecting, I think, with understanding what the habitual lifestyle thing is about, and then the turning point for him, and then getting a feel for that somewhat, but for the most part, I'm kind of lost in and for me, that's always indicates just keep unfolding, keep staying with it rather than trying to do anything with it. So, all right, that was the turning point. The last thing you said though was pretty interesting. Is the party over or something like that, right?
Is this still a party?
Is this still a party? Yeah.
No, this to me now, it's no longer fun. It's no longer a party. It's no longer enjoyment. My kids are getting older, and I'm missing things.
Right. Okay. So kind of like you're growing out of it, you think? maybe, or like,
Yeah, I am. I think that's really,
or like life's moving on and you're
and I'm still stuck at the party stage at this.
right.
And I'm like, is this all it is? Because like I said, my kids are getting older. I see a friend pass away because of this so-called party lifestyle that we're living and this
Mm-hmm.
in this drug use. And so I'm ready to just turn my life around, but I don't know how. That's why I'm stuck in this depressed stage.
Yeah. So you don't know how. Tell me about that. Then you don't know how.
I don't know who.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of the common sense things roll through. Oh, I just stop doing this or start doing this or whatever. But like, what do you mean you don't know how?
Yeah, like you said, the common sense, like just stop. You know, and so many people just say just stop, but it's just not that simple. It seems like if I go to a certain place, I get this feeling like, okay, this is where I normally am when I'm doing this, and this is what I do. Instead of being able to go around people or be in situations and not do it, it's like I have to do it. I have to do it in those places and situations.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
I don't want to quit my job, but my job makes me think about drugs, and drugs is
Oh,
what
so
I
your
do.
job's a part of the party scene then?
Yes. Well, the
Yeah.
people there, some
Or
of the people there.
there.
That's how I found out about the cocaine. Is some of the people I met
Mm-hmm.
in my job.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you kind of keep stepping into it every day, back into the scene.
Yeah.
You know. And so yeah, it sounds like it would be hard to make that change then. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that. Like they're just like, well, just stop. Like my family and my children's mom, they're just like, just stop. Like, what's your problem? Don't you see you're destroying your life? And I'm like, it's not that simple.
Mm-hmm.
And that's giving me this depressed feeling. Like, can I stop? Can I get out of this?
Mm-hmm.
Or is this it? Is it, I just don't want to keep living like this.
So everybody else around you is seeing that it should just be some simple thing, but what are they most not understanding? I mean, you're speaking to that, but tell me more about like what are they most not understanding about? It's not like a light switch thing.
I think that's it. They don't understand it's not a light switch. Like I can't just not go to work because I don't. A lot of people don't know that that's where I started this whole drug use process. So a lot of them don't understand. I can't just quit my job. I still have to make money. I still have to provide for my children.
Right.
And then I have to continue to go there every day, and it triggers an emotion in me. So like, okay, when I get off work, I'm gonna go to happy hour.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's a process. It's like you said, it's a habitual thing that I do consistently to the point where I can't control it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So is this a daily thing?
It is.
Yeah.
It's daily.
Wow.
I mean, it started out when I first started using it. It was like, oh, we'll just do it on the weekends or Thursday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like every day I have to do it as soon as I get off work. It's like if I don't, I feel lost. Like I don't have any energy. It's like an energy booster for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's a lot of motivation in continuing to do it too. Like it contributes a lot to you. As well.
Yeah, it keeps
stress relief and everything.
Oh,
energy
sometimes I'm
boosters,
wired.
social stuff. I mean, it's got a lot tied into it, right?
I think for me the party scene and like being wired and being up and having that extra energy, and I'm a different person. Everybody likes the vibrant me, but then when I'm not using, it's like you see what you see right here today. I'm depressed. I'm tired. I just don't want to live.
If your body could keep up with it, and your friend didn't die, I mean, would you want to keep rolling with it and just kind of endlessly? You think?
That's a really good question. I don't know.
I mean, it sounds like fun. It sounds a lot of fulfillment from that lifestyle and everything.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, I enjoy it. It's not like it stops me from being able to do anything.
Uh-huh.
But then on the other hand, if my friend didn't die, my kids are still growing older. I'm missing that time. My children's mother, she totally disregards this lifestyle. So there's no children in this lifestyle. So that's really a tough choice to have to make.
Do you agree with that?
I don't think that that's fair.
I think she's drawn too hard of a line.
I do. I feel like she's really not taking into consideration our children.
Mm-hmm.
She has an issue with what I'm doing, and it's affecting our children.
Right. At the same time, there's it sounds like part of you that's like, well, okay, I don't agree that she's not letting me see the kids because I live like this, but at the same time, I'm starting to see that I really can't keep living like this anyway. Is that what you're saying?
And that's true. I can't. I just, you never think that something that you're doing that you feel is fun or exciting
Yeah.
will be so harmful to the point where you see someone die.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, is this really what I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's saying this is so harmful for your life. This is, you can die from this stuff, and all these other yelling and screaming about it. But
do you ever have visions of your life outside of this one, outside of partying like this? I mean, you do in part by, you know, Derek, the father. It sounds like you have a vision, a little bit at least, for like who you want to be in their life and who you want to be as a father, right?
Yes.
Am I right? Okay. Do you have other glimpses like that of like, if not this, then I would be doing this, or I would love, or once this is done, I'd love to be doing this, or I don't know, what other part of your life do you create in your head?
My child's mother, we would probably still be together, and we would be a real family.
Really? Okay. That's pretty different then.
Yeah, I think. Well, I know that when I started using, once we graduated college, she was totally not for it, and that's why we're separated. I think she still loves me,
Mm-hmm.
and I still love her, but she felt like I chose the drugs over her.
So part of an alternate vision for your life would be a family man, a relationship man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely will be a family man.
What would that be giving you? Why is that appealing for you?
I really, some nights when I'm laying there and if I'm coming down from my high, I look at that stuff and I think this is something that I want to live the rest of my life as. A husband, a father, a person that really cares about other people instead of themselves.
Mm.
But I don't know how to get there.
Well, so tell me more about why that's appealing to you.
Because I see my child's mother, I see my children, I see that they need that support, that stability, and I see how when I am clean,
Mm-hmm.
how she lights up and she enjoys the interaction, and how I light up. We're both having a mutual bond that we don't have otherwise. So when I am coming down from my high,
Mm-hmm.
I start to try to use that as motivation to get up or to get moving or to get to work in the morning.
Right. Okay. So, and just let you know what's going in my head. So the conversation's evolving, and so I mean he's been kind of opening the doors, and I've been kind of walking through, you know, further into the rooms or whatever with him, and you know, it goes from this whole stuck thing, this lifestyle, whatever, to he kind of keeps going back to this. What I saw is like this other vision for his life that he had a little bit of, and so I was really curious about more of that. Like, where else has his head gone to see himself as having another life? Not with the intent of going anywhere or like being solution focused or anything like that. This is all just curiosity, trying to understand and just being super interested, you know, because now I'm really engaged in like wanting to know more about this other life away from partying and drugs, and I think it's really interesting that he has this. I wouldn't have guessed that he wanted to be a family man, like just to be a father to the kids and then go do something cool with his life or whatever, you know, to want to have that relationship, you know, with the kid's mom, and then, you know, that's whole very different and very rich though too. So I want to explore that further, just out of curiosity. I'm not, you know, maybe some of these conversations that I've had before, playing the role of a solution-focused counselor, is informing where I'm going right now, but my intention is not to do that. So if that makes sense. So I'm feeling a little bit more sense of connectedness with him, with his story, and a little bit more sense of possibility for movement and possibility for change. Whereas at the beginning, you know, just being kind of lost and disoriented and not seeing how this would change or could change. So do you see the evolution of the conversation, the evolution of my feelings, my experience, and then my thinking? So, all right. So you use that, say that again, when you wake up, you use that as motivation for, you use what as motivation?
I use the motivation of potentially having a life outside of drugs with my children's mother and my children, and having a family and doing things like, because I see some of my coworkers who have families and they go on vacation, and they explore and they do all these things together and it looks fun.
This stuff didn't used to be as appealing to you?
No, not at first. I mean, when you started to, like, as for me, I'm evolving as a professional. I'm getting older. I can't say I'm getting any younger, and some of these things start to look appealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my wife used to have a great time.
So your preferences are changing. What's enjoyable for you is shifting. So that idea of family now seems much more enjoyable than the partying thing. And you already said you're not getting as much out of the partying thing. That's interesting. Okay. So the idea of having that in your life and cleaning your life up motivates you sometimes to go to work
yeah.
But then you end up in the cycle again.
Yeah, because then when I step into work, I'm like, okay, I see all these people and they're living this fun and enjoyable life, and I'm like, well, I know they're probably still using, and that's why they're so excited and upbeat. And so now I'm like, well, I got to get back to my drugs so I can get this feeling of upbeat excitement.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where the cycle starts when I step in the door and I see everybody else moving so fast, and I'm like sluggish.
So that moment when you wake up and you're kind of motivated to get going with your day and get going with your life in a different direction. So how does that? So you wake up with this idea, this sort of an inspiration, it sounds like, for this future, and then you get up thinking like, what's going to be different? Like, help me better understand that whole thing of waking up with motivation and okay, like you feel fresh or new or like possibility for change or whatever. Then what does that lead to that's different?
I get motivated. And I most of the time I do call my children's mom when I wake up just to see how the kids are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells me the same thing. They're fine. How are you doing? It's always how she asks. And I'm like, why are you so worried about me? You know, I think that I can make it, you know, and I get to work and it's just like this trigger. It's like a flip of the switch, I guess you would say. And I'm like, I'm back into, well, I need this to support the life that I'm living now,
Mm-hmm.
just to sustain. Like, I don't.
So it's before you step foot through the door almost. It's like up until that point, there's kind of, you know, motivation is there. Motivation is affecting, you know, you in a positive way.
But I know at the end of the day that it's not going to be there. Like,
Right.
I know that I don't have a family when I go home,
Right.
like these other people have. I know I don't.
But you wake up feeling hope for that, though, sometimes,
Yes.
and wanting that, and being motivated to maybe do something about it.
Yes.
Yeah. When did that start coming about?
Probably a couple months before my friend overdosed. You know, but I still had friends and colleagues that were still in the party life, so it didn't really. I'm like, okay, I still got people to hang out with and do.
It's interesting. It sounds like you've already started to change, though, which is really interesting. Like, I mean, you're kind of defining change as like, I don't do drugs. I'm a family man. My life is clean. I have good times, but in good, healthy ways. Which is like, that's like way down here. And, you know, change starts in small ways. And so it's just interesting. And I might be wrong, but I'm kind of hearing, what I'm hearing you say is that change started several months ago and before your friend even died. Change in the sense of like your motivation. When that motivation shifts, our actions start to shift. And that's when kind of where and how change starts, you know, is that first small little thing. It's like the snowball that kind of goes down the hill and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Then you end up, you know, at that change point. So that, I don't know, that's just what I'm hearing. Does that resonate with you at all?
It does. And I never thought of, because I'm glad I come in to speak with you today, because I guess I couldn't see that. I couldn't see that until you just kind of opened my eyes and helped me out a little bit there, because I'm so clouded with actually doing what I do. I still use, I still have a good time. I still enjoy that life up until the point where my friend passed away, and now it's starting to become a chore instead of something that I want to do for fun and enjoyment.
Yeah. And it's probably, I would guess, going to become less enjoyable too, because this change has already started to happen. You're already feeling a sense of being pulled away and a sense of desire for something else, and developing a future vision for yourself as well too. And I'm just wondering, as it becomes less enjoyable, how the change will continue. I don't know. If you had to guess, what would that?
Me and my kids' parent or mother, we have a good time together. I just think about now as we're talking about how we used to have a lot of fun together. I mean, a lot of the partying and stuff we did together, but it wasn't with the drugs and the drinking. And once I got to that point, our connection kind of broke apart because we used to go traveling, we used to go camping, canoeing. It was a lot of excitement.
So if change were to continue forward, it would continue forward in the next place it would show up would be in a relationship or something? Is that what you're saying?
I think it would be if I was to change and start to move in a changing direction, it would be to at least let her know that I'm trying to better myself.
Does she know you're coming here?
No.
How come?
I don't know. I felt like if I told her that I was coming here, she would think that she did it for me, or because she always telling me I need to talk to somebody, or I need to see somebody. I felt like I should just do it on my own, and I don't want anybody to know until.
Wait, she would think that you're doing it just because she said to do it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because everybody says, you need to go see somebody, you need some help, you can't do it on your own. And I don't want people to think that they force me to. I feel like I want to be here for me.
You came to that conclusion on your own because you're ready. Yeah. Yeah. And you don't want other people to think that you're just doing it because everybody's pointing the finger. That's interesting, though, that other people around you, besides just the kid's mom, is saying, you know, you're playing a little bit different game than everybody else, you know.
And I don't understand I guess I didn't understand what they were seeing at first. Like, everybody's like, oh, you're going downhill, you know, your life is over, you're on the way to destruction. And I'm like, I'm partying. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a good time.
Right, right.
And now I'm starting to see that it's not a party.
The dude next to you drops dead,
yeah.
You know, and that's your circle.
Yeah.
Then you're in a circle that's very different, it sounds like, than when everybody else is seeing.
Yeah, ain't nobody else's friends dropping dead or dying right in front of them.
Yeah.
Like in my family, I don't see too many people talking about death and destruction unless it's older people.
Right.
You know, and now it's like, I need to really get my stuff together.
Yeah. Interesting. So, what's the next step for you? Do you feel like what's?
I would like to.
You can't quit work. You can't do that right now. You're stopping partying like, you know. I don't know if that's realistic right now. And what's realistic for you? Do you feel like you're already moving in a direction of change? What's kind of a logical next step? That's
I want one day of no drugs. That's my.
Oh, interesting.
I want one day where I can get up, go to work, and say, you know what, this is it. I'm gonna go to work, go home. No partying, no out at the bar for happy hour, no cocaine, just pure real life. I feel like.
Is that too big of a step for you though, or is that something you feel like you could actually manage?
I don't know. I hope I can manage that. I think I can. I think I can do that.
Huh.
It's hard because.
What would you be doing that night instead?
That's a good question. What?
Something would need to be appealing enough for you to go to, you know, that would be an alternative, a true alternative.
Well, I love sports, and they got this. They have this new console, this game console, and it's like the Xbox 417, and it's like almost like virtual. Like, so I could probably do that. Like something I can do. And that would give me time to like stimulate myself, not in the same way as the cocaine, but stimulate myself where it's something that I used to enjoy doing. Yeah. Maybe I could get to that, and then I could actually, you know, maybe call my kid's mother and just let her know that, hey, I'm over here just hanging out, relaxing. And
that would be an interesting phone call for her to receive, I would think.
Yeah, 'cause she never hears from me except for the first thing in the morning.
Right.
And that's like my help. Yeah. That's like my crutch in the morning to get up. It's the car. She doesn't know that, but.
Right. Huh. That would be an interesting phone call for her to receive. Yeah. And then you said that if change were to continue, you would see it starting to move into the relationship. And you're right. Because if you stayed home and gave her a call, it would start moving into that relationship possibly. So it's interesting. Yeah.
Because she get more calls like that. And she's like, well, what are you doing? You mean you're staying at home? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You up for that? I mean, I'm not going to hold you to that this week. I don't know if that's too big or if that's realistic for you. You created that. it sounds like it's worth trying.
I want to try it.
Yeah.
I can definitely go out and get that game console. I saw, as I go to work, I see it, and I'm like, man, I used to like to do that.
Hell, I would think the amount of money you spend in one night would pay for at least
Yeah.
half of that, if not more.
Oh, definitely. I'd definitely be able to buy that, some games, controllers.
Yeah.
And I could definitely do that, no problem.
Okay. You want to give it a swing?
I do. I
Right.
think I
Oh, I'd love to check back with you and see how you did. Maybe next week or something. Does that sound good?
It does.
All right. Go to it. Right on. All right. Good job, man. That's a good one. All right, you can stop that.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to recap.
Well, you know what? Do you want to do that?
I don't know. Do you want to do it?
I'm not that interested.
Okay.